Hey guys, welcome back to JR14. Here we are with another video for today. I'm tired. It's 8 o'clock in the morning because now my cord needs some more attention. So without further ado, let's get started with the video right now and I can tell you what's wrong with it. As you guys know, this is my daily driver. It's a 2007 Honda Accord SE trim level, and it is a manual transmission, as you can see here. Manual transmission, right? So I'm having a couple of issues. One issue is basically I'm having vibration from the front end, both on acceleration and on when I'm hitting, and also when I'm hitting the brakes. So the only thing that I can think of is that for the braking, the rotors are warped, which is a common fault for these. But I definitely need to make sure I can figure those out. So currently, like I said, when I slow down, I'm noticing that I'm getting some really bad vibrations from the front end. So that can only mean that these rotors are pretty shot. Which is weird because 2 years ago when I bought this car, I did replace the front brakes because they seemed spongy to me, and you know, it was a safety concern and it's not expensive to change these, so I'd rather just change the rotors and pads. However, it seems as if there's plenty of pad left, but I think that maybe these rotors are just gone. Another thing that happened, this happened on my 1999 Civic, and what I found out on this side was that the caliper was seized. I hope that's not the case here, because on this side, I'm noticing that the pad wear, you can't see it on the camera here, but I'm noticing that the pad wear here is actually pretty worse than on that side. So either this caliper is seized, or maybe the guide pins just need to be taken apart and then re-greased. So I'm gonna do all that today. Now these rear brakes are a little crusty. So the rear brakes I've never changed, ever. So as you can see, those are pretty rusted in. So are the calipers as well. But I'm gonna hit that with a wire brush today. If I have time, I will paint the calipers black. This way, you know, we're good to go and everything like that. It's a perfect day for it. As you can see, the sun is out, so perfect day to paint the calipers because it's hot enough. And it's 8 o'clock in the morning. Also, the acceleration, I'm getting vibrations on this car under acceleration. So under acceleration with any load in first or second gear, and then sometimes around 60, 65 miles an hour, I'm getting a really nasty vibration where it shakes the front end of the car. I don't know where it's coming from, but I heard a really common issue on these is that these cars love to eat the inner CV axle joints. So, and the characteristics of the eating of the wearing, premature wear of the inner CV axle joints is the symptom for it is going to be the vibrations. So I actually went to Amazon and bought me some new rotors and new pads from Detroit Axle. I'll put a link down in the description for these. And I bought my axles from Rock Auto. They already have ABS rings on them, so you don't have to worry about taking the old ones off and switching them on. So we're gonna go ahead and unbox these now, and I'm gonna show you what we got. All right, so I got the axles right here. I got these from Rock Auto. They were about $43 a side. And I got them for a manual with the ABS rings. They'll show you specifically in the descriptions which ones you need. And then also, like I said, I got these from Amazon, Detroit Axle. We got front rotors, we got rear rotors, and we got brake pads for the front and rear. Pretty good that I got all these, but it's starting to rain, so I'm gonna try to get through this as quickly as possible. I already got the car on jack stands mounted up on the subframe, because this jack can't go high enough. I wish I can go higher so I can get the jack stands underneath there, but they're underneath the car under the subframe for better support. Calvin's still asleep right now, but when he gets up, he's gonna be able to come here and help me out. So yeah, so I just got all these lug nuts off. I'm gonna take this wheel off, and then I'm gonna show you guys afterwards what we have to do in order to get these axles out. So let's go. Here you got your caliper, your rotor. I can't find it to be literally warped in any way. The pad looks good here, and I don't know what the pad looks like on the inside. I can't see it from here. Well, actually, you can look from here. And, ooh, okay. So these these guide pins need to probably most likely be pulled out and re-greased, which I'm going to do. Or worst case scenario, these calipers need to be replaced. I can get rebuilt ones and give these back as a cord charge. I forgot the name of the store, to be honest with you, but it's not far from my house, so I can go ahead and get those, and then I can get the cord charge and I can get those assembled today. I've done it before in the Civic, so it's not hard. So here's the original axle. So as you can see, this axle should not have any play. So if you can hear this noise, you can see that there's movement with that inner axle. I can move that with my hand. That's not supposed to happen. So the inner axle, I don't know if you guys can hear that, that's worn out. So we got to remove these 10 millimeters. We got to remove this 10 millimeter up here. We got to remove this one up here. We got to remove the upper control arm bolt from the knuckle. So that's going to be a castle nut, and then I bought new cotter pins. I'll show you that in a minute. And then we also have to take out this fork bolt on the bottom here. And then after that, the only thing that might need to come out, we might have to take the tie rod off. We may not have to. I heard that it's possible that you may have to take these off, but there's ways of getting the axle out. If not, you have to take off this nut. You have to bang this thing back out, which is going to be a bit of a task. Hopefully we can get it out without damaging the spline in the center. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get some PB Blaster and just blast all this, let it soak for a little bit because it is an older car. This stuff has been off before. I recently replaced the upper control arms. I also recently replaced the suspension just a little shy less than a year ago, so it shouldn't be that bad. Yeah, once I hit everything with PB Blaster, everything should come out pretty simple. And this dampener is also kind of shot because it's supposed to be on the center here and it moved over here. So I don't know what the purpose, I mean, it was to reduce like vibrations, but all the aftermarket axles I've seen don't have this, so I don't know what this was for. But yeah, but this definitely has some play in it for sure. Not on the outer boot, but definitely, like I said, on that inner boot. I can show you guys like this. Like, I don't know if you can see me wiggling that with my hand, but that's not supposed to happen. So PB Blaster, and then we'll zip these nuts off. I'm gonna do everything these by hand because I do not want these to break. I heard horror stories about all of these snapping. This is for, I think, for the ABS wire here. These are for the brake line here. And this one, oh, and there's another 10 over here to hold this whole bracket on. And we're gonna move these to the side so we have more room to work with. But PB Blaster, let it soak for a little bit, and then hopefully we can get this repair done without major issues. But you know, with me it's never good luck, right? So hopefully this time Megan, who is the name of my car, will cooperate and we can get this done in a timely fashion. So let's go. Got both of the wheels off. Something actually alarming I found about this, I had a slow leak in this tire for a while. This is on the passenger front. And everything looks fine on the tire, everything looks fine on the tread of the tire until you get on the inside. Now this is the stuff that you don't see. See how it's completely cracked and dry rotted all the way around? I wasn't prepared for this today, but I'm gonna have to buy a new tire. So I'm gonna get a new tire for this. I'm gonna obviously do the rear brakes as well. So I gotta also see if the other tires need this as well, but that's just something I noted. Also, before we continue, a lot of you guys commenting like, "Oh, these wheels are trash." I didn't curb these wheels. These wheels weren't like these wheels. I didn't do this to these wheels. I bought these wheels like this. I wanted this style wheel. It's from an 8th gen Accord V6 coupe, and you know, they're old. They're from 2000, the 8th generation Accord, so you can't really find these new anymore. So I found these in the best condition I can find. I'm going to refinish them at a given time, but they're completely straight. They're slightly bent, so I do get a little vibration from these, but not crazy to where I have to worry about it. So now with this, I just want to let everybody know I already took this nut off from here. But I'm using a hand socket wrench for these, and the reason why I'm doing that is because I don't know the condition of these bolts. I don't want to snap anything because that's going to make my day a whole more difficult. It's going to be much more difficult if I snap one of these bolts. So I PB blast sprayed everything. I'm going to start without taking out the tie rods because I've seen it done without it. I just need something to pry this bend out of this axle nut, and on the other side it wasn't even done. So that's kind of easier for me, but alarming because this can back out at any time. But I got to take these cotter pins out, one up here. I got to bend this back and pull it out, and this back in, and then pull them out together. I got to take these two out, so I'm going to go ahead and do that now. And let's see, hopefully this box will allow me to mount you guys here so you're able to see the time lapse. So without further ado, let's go right now. I'm trying to do as much as possible before Calvin gets here. Calvin agreed. You know, if you guys remember Calvin, that's the guy that made me start modifying the Mark 7, Project Mark 7. And literally, he's been you know, he's been working hard a lot lately. You know, and I really respect his time, and that's why I'm trying to get this done as quickly as possible. I'll get as much out of the way as possible. But yeah, so I did that side, got to do the other side now. I'm going to spray a little bit of WD-40 on this one too, because I forgot there's 2 set screws. There's 2 set screws in each rotor. I thought they were 1, but there's actually, some cars have 1, some cars have 2. My Civic had 1 each on each rotor, but this has 2. So, and I got new set screws as well. So, see, I don't have that luxury. Look, you guys remember this guy? You remember him? Yeah.
God, I said, don't record me.
No, man. I miss you, bro.
Oh, my God.
I miss you, yo. You know how many people ask about you?
No.
Yo, a lot of people are like, yo, where's Calvin? Where's Calvin? And he still drives a Volkswagen, people, not the Mark IV you guys are familiar with.
Oh, yeah. You're going to beat that sucker up.
Yep. Pause.
Oh, my God.
Can't make this up. It's always one bolt. We literally have gotten everything out. We've gotten the axle bolt loose. We've gotten the fork here removed off of the upper control arm. And it's just this that will not come out. It came out on the other side with maybe 3 or 4 whacks, and it came out. This side will not come out. That side will not come out. That's the last thing holding us back. I swear to you, I cannot make this up. In the car world scene, when you're working on your own car, is literally the last bolt. We always call it, and it always happens. And I'm always the one trying to spread positivity. No, it's literally, it's a bolt that I recently, like, it's a part that I recently took off like a few months ago to do the upper control arms on the car. It's not like something that's been on the car for 14 years and we're just changing it. So pray for me. Pray for us, because Calvin don't want to be out here. I don't want to be out here.
It's too hot.
It's getting, now the sun's starting to come out, and it's really, really brutal. So we're going to keep at it. We got to keep whacking it like whack-a-mole. Once we get, then we should be able to crowbar the axle against the transmission, and should be able to come right on out. Yeah. And you guys are probably asking, oh, why don't you just use a ball joint separator? We tried that, and it still didn't work. So put in the comments down below, what do you guys would have done? Remember, you can't put heat to it because I don't want to ruin the ball joints that I just replaced on it. I just replaced the upper control arms. I don't want to ruin them and buy new upper control arms. I'm not trying to spend money today. I already got to buy a tire. That's already outside of my budget of what I was trying to spend today. But, you know, tires are important. It's safety, so I need to do that. So hopefully it's just one, and I could just get that replaced at a local tire shop. And I'm in New York, which is great because there's local tire shops, plenty of local tire shops around. So 45 NYC, I'm talking to you. I'm probably gonna go to your shop right on Linden, so you're close. So I'm not trying to drive this thing far until I get that resolved first. So all right, we're gonna keep at it. Hopefully Calvin can get it. All right guys, so that's not safe. Don't ever stand on the jack on an incline driveway. So here's the old one. Honda's use this shaft in the center. This is like a balancer, like for dampening. No aftermarket axles come with it. I've heard everything, and I heard everything under the sun that you don't really need these at all. So these should be fine. These look a little different, especially like here, but this should be okay. It's just a different cap. But they are the same size. I think you just have to push this one in. Calvin, hold this for me. Yeah, so again, this is the Honda one here. This is the Honda one here. I'm a little concerned about these though. These are a little different, but they should just go right in place with no issues at all. So it shouldn't be an issue. I'm not really going to be too concerned about it. But again, we'll see once we put it all in, and hopefully everything goes fine and smooth. But yeah, so we did it the way, so you got to line up the splines and everything, and it can only go in one way, right?
He said she should slide right in. We're just trying to get it in with this too. That lock in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Kind of gotta keep hitting it. Come on. The fun parts.
Isn't it the fun part?
Because this one went in no issue.
It only clips in a specific way, and the splines have to line up. Look at the trans. Ah, I can see the trans from here. It's pretty deep. It's pretty deep. That's pretty cool. So, yep. Now we got to do the same thing on the other side, and then we can go to the simple stuff, like simple brake change with rotors and pads. But hopefully it's not hard to get the rotors off. The only ones I'm worried about as far as changing the brakes are the rears, because those have never been changed. Those are probably the originals on the car. Oh, those are that's anti-seize. That's what's all over this. Calvin and I changed both of the axles. So just a quick synopsis. We just wanted to hurry up and do this. A couple things that I did. Calvin, if you never mind, I got it. So I'll give you this. This is a Cotter Pin Assortment Kit. You need cotter pins on the Accord. There's usually a cotter pin on the tie rods. There's also a cotter pin on the upper control arms, and usually a cotter pin on the lower ball joint on the bottom control arm. For this, you only remove the, like I said, you only would have to remove the upper control arm. Some people do remove the tie rods, but you really don't have to. And you don't have to at all. So alignment purposes, this shouldn't really throw off the alignment. I'm going to get an alignment anyway. I have to go to the tire shop to get a new tire, so that's perfectly fine. Now we're going to be changing the brakes. So, and then also with the axle nut, you know, I dented a new indentation here, torqued these down to 135 foot-pounds on both sides. We put everything back on as far as the ABS lines and the brake line. This tool is pretty cool because I'll actually put a link to this on Amazon. I have a Cotter Pin Assortment Kit that I'm also going to link on Amazon. And I have these set screws for the brakes. I have them for the front and the rears, and I'm going to give you the links for those on Amazon. So all you have to do with these, they usually stay rusted, so you shock them like this. And once you're done, they come right out. So, and you see they're pretty rusted. They're pretty rusted, but I sprayed these with WD-40 before, so they come out pretty easily after you do that. Oh, this is just loose. Oh, I already hit this. Wow. Tell Calvin, it's an easy car to work on.
No.
When you buy a car from Texas,
when you buy a car
from Texas, instead of buying a New York car or a Northeast car, with all the rust, even though these look pretty bad, it's grade A work. It's grade A.
All right, let's get this party.
All right, so we're gonna walk over here to
this party started.
So I bought these. These are nothing special, nothing fancy. Front rotors and pads from Detroit axle. It's a brand that I usually see a lot on Amazon for automotive stuff. So I figured I'd give them a try. The price wasn't bad at all. Rotors and pads. So these are definitely the rear rotors. They're solid. And then the front rotors, which are the ones on the bottom, with some top rotors here. These are the front rotors. Ooh, yes. Some new stuff, vented. Nothing fancy, nothing crazy. You have to use brake clean because these have come with a special coating on them that we're going to take apart. But these, for the rotors and pads, were about 150 bucks on Amazon. So
nice.
I will send a link for that as well if you are looking for brakes for 2003 or 2007 or just for your vehicle in general. Detroit Axle got you covered, and they are an Amazon brand. It's mainly on Amazon where you can buy the parts. So the other ones
you should keep those out since you're going to take those out.
Yes, that's right, Calvin. Calvin likes to work smarter, never harder. So keep those out. And then we got brake pads here. These are the fronts with grease, new clips. But I have a habit of using the old clips.
Yep.
If they're already fit in there and everything, don't even mess with it, leave them in there. And then these are the rears. So again, I'm going to leave the clips alone unless they need to be replaced. And then we have brand new pads and rotors for the rear. So we're going to go ahead and knock this out because it's 93, 94 degrees right now.
Crazy.
And it's hot. So I'm chatting. Let's get to it. Let's do it. Okay, so my pad wear is even. Oh, caliper has a bad. Yep, this caliper seized. Bad boot. No.
Come on now, you gotta do it.
I was trying to avoid this today. Yes, and that's okay. At least I'll have fresh calipers on the front. I don't even want to know if I have to get fresh calipers on the rear. All right, well, before we continue, all right, let's just continue getting everything off. So now we realize with these calipers that the calipers are all the way bad. That is not good. That is a ripped boot. So, and there's a bunch of crud in here. So this is compromised. So I went to my local hardware store, got some new calipers, which are right over here. And we could return these as a core and get that done. We have new fluid as well. So we're going to get these all installed. And then we gotta hope that the rears aren't screwed up either, which I don't have really good promise for, so only one way to find out. All right, so we went ahead, replaced the rotors, replaced the pads, new pads, replaced the calipers. We're gonna bleed the system last.
Ready?
Yep. But now we're jacking up the rears so we can get that done. Yeah, you don't have to go too crazy. So, no.
Oh, you got the impact gun.
Yeah. All right, guys, finally got the Accord all situated back on all four of its wheels with brand new rotors and pads, old calipers in the rear, and in the front we have new rotors, calipers in the front, along with new brakes as well. So this has been pretty cool. This has been a good project. I'm finally glad I got it done. She's looking good. She's driving good. No more vibrations. And your boy, I said in the beginning of the video that I had to get another tire. So I went. That's the one thing about New York. I found a really good used tire that's practically brand new. No bubbles, no issues or anything like that for literally $80 installed. So that's not bad. So yeah, we are good to go. Ooh, no more crusty, rusty brakes at all. We are good to go. So yes, your boy's tired. I'm not even gonna lie to you, your boy's tired. I've been out here since 8 o'clock in the morning. I needed some help from Calvin. 2 people is better than 1. This car was actually really simple to work on. So we did the axles. Now driving the car, there's no more vibrations. The vibrations as far as on acceleration are completely gone. And as far as the braking vibrations, those are completely gone too. This car rides so smooth like butter. It's so amazing to drive now. I'm really happy I figured that out. The only issues now is that we have to figure out, there's a couple of more things that we have to do with the car to get it 100%, but I'm going to do those in later videos that you guys will see. So, you know, there's a couple of more things that we have to figure out with the car to get it 100%, but mechanically this car is sound. We do have a check engine light, but it is also for this catalytic converter again. That last video you saw, I put a cheap catalytic converter in it just to, you know, get the light to go away for a little while, also to pass inspection. It did pass inspection, but however, the catalytic converter is a cheap catalytic converter. I knew that, you know, it's not bad if you just need to pass inspection or something like that, but it is faulty again. So I am going to get a good one this time, either a MagnaFlow one or Wagner or one of these other aftermarket supported brands that make catalytic converters that are legal in 50 states or at least 48 states or whatever. I know California is a really strict state when it comes to emissions, but we have to do that. Another thing that we have to do is this. So this head unit, as we spoke about before, that's going to go bye-bye. I'm getting rid of it. When I do the video for the head unit, I'm going to talk about the issues with this head unit, but it has not been the best experience for me. Like, this unit's great, it has been okay, but then recently, a few months ago, it started glitching, and these aftermarket brand radios. So I'm going to do another one where it's going to involve this whole center stack, and we may do something in the future with that. So that, expect that in a later video as well. But like I said, I rushed through the video towards the end just because of the fact that literally I had to return back the old calipers to get my core charge back. I had to do a lot of different things to make sure that we hurried up. And then again, it's my birthday tomorrow, so like you'll see this video later on, but it's July 29th as of today. So tomorrow is my birthday, and my friends are taking me out literally in an hour and a half. So I need to finish up. I had to go to the mall to get some things to dress up for the night, but I wanted to make sure that this car was completely done. But again, everything is great. I'm going to put a link for the description for everything that I've done down below. Tools is number 1. The cotter pins, the rotor bolts, the rotor screw holder screws to hold it against the hub, and also the rotors and pads as well. I'll show you another thing of axles. I got mine from Rock Auto, but you can get them from another supplier if you want, if that you feel more comfortable with that. And I gotta wash up, my hands are still kind of dirty, so but if you did like this video, I'm rambling, but if you did like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Also make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to JR14. You guys always remember that cars are a lifestyle.